Hi guys, I'm Jared, and today we're talking about what's new in board gaming as of February 11th, 2022. I'll be covering the latest news, announcements, most played games, hot new Kickstarters and crowdfunded games, and more related to board gaming for the past 2 weeks. At the end, I'll also be sharing what's going on behind the scenes with my YouTube channel, Meeple Mentor. So stick around, we've got a lot to cover. Leave me a like and comment on what kinds of updates that you want to hear more about. To make sure you don't miss any of my news updates, new video tutorials, and our podcast episodes, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and your preferred streaming platform. Let's talk about what games are currently funding that you can join in on. Up first are a couple only on GameFound. 13 Hunters is centered around a collection of bounty hunters from across the orb space designed to be inserted into your tabletop RPG. Send your players on a chase, placing one of the 13 mercenaries on their path. The Locksmith, Sovereign of Keys, the Name Guard, an excommunicated fairy bound to those who know his name, and the Whirligig, a terror of the dunes, are all at your disposal, and they have 10 other hunters to join them. Funding on GameFound until March 3rd. Purple Haze by Phalanx is a military-style game that puts you in command of a U.S. Marine squad. Customize and level up your characters as you gain experience on patrols, in raids, and sweeps. In 1967 Vietnam, fight against the enemy with 1 to 4 players. It's funding on GameFound until February 14th. The tabletop Find It book for all ages is 40-plus pages of full-color images. Themed pages fully dedicated to games of their sponsors displayed in vivid detail are accompanied by lists of the items to identify in each picture. March 3rd is the final day for funding it on Kickstarter. The World Traveler Society Mystery Escape Box prequel is an investigation that lasts the duration of the Kickstarter campaign, where you become a web sleuth uncovering clues together to eventually discover the location of the mystery box. Play online or print and play on tabletop and roam the streets of Shanghai, uncovering clues on the whereabouts of the box. Set out on the trail of discovery on Kickstarter until February 17th. Blightbreed TCG is focused around one specific clan of 5 hybrids. Played out into the arena are clan leaders, and the rest of the clan is built up around them. Protect the clan leader from being destroyed with the hybrid clan as a line of defense. Create conditions or effects, and attack or use special abilities to assist the hybrids. It's funding on Kickstarter until February 18th. The Bloodfields at Black Star Station presents a science fiction setting where victims find themselves in a bloody tourist attraction. Awoken in a destination they don't recognize, the characters become pawns, forced to participate in gladiatorial arena by the owners of the space station they're trapped inside. The players take on different roles with different skills proficient to them, gain favor with rival factions to attempt an escape. It's funding on Kickstarter until February 15th. Thunder Road Vendetta is a redesign on the 1986 game Thunder Road. Using 4 movement dice, players move 3 cars within their control, a small, medium, and large. If a move is ended with a car in the player's sights, that player aims and shoots in an attempt to eliminate a rival. Commands such as Nitro, Drift, and Repair aid players in their endeavors. You even have the option to call in the chopper. This game is funding on Kickstarter until February 13th. Legend Has It is a 52-card deck that pulls the game from your bookshelves. Storylines advance by interpreting sentences drawn from real books. Cards in the game generate the random page, paragraph, and sentence number that you will use. Each self-contained storyline draws all of its prompts from the same book. When a story ends, you'll choose a different book from the shelf to start the next one. You will tell a collection of stories that culminate to create a complete anthology of interwoven myths. The group collectively decides when to move to the next phase or end the game. It's funding on Kickstarter until February 14th. Maelstrom's TCG is the official rebranding of Final Redemption TCG. Create an army from 200+ cards to create and arm your fighters. The fight continues until only one player's army remains, funding on Kickstarter until February 12th. In Captain's Log, play in a sandbox environment where you compete with other players to become the most famous captain of all. It's for 1 to 4 players and can be set with a lower or higher victory point limit to achieve a shorter game or to enjoy the complete experience. Encounter pirates, corsairs, and navy from the colonial era on the open ocean. It's funding on Kickstarter until February 28th. Evolution New World is the anniversary edition of the Origin of Species. Do the work of nature and create animals, giving them essential traits for survival, including traits based on the analysis of real animals. Scientific descriptions aid you, and colorful illustrations bring your animals to life while you evolve them. Funding on Kickstarter until February 24th. Seas of Havoc employs deck building and worker placement for 1 to 5 players. Captain a ship and engage in battle in this naval skirmish game. Begin with a unique deck of movement options defined by the ship you have chosen. Recover shipwrecks and battle on the high seas to gain the most infamy. It's funding on Kickstarter until February 24th. Chang'an, an engine building and resource management card game, has players acting as important urbanists to produce resources and move into city areas. Use a different deck each time you play to improve the commercial, military, scientific, production, and political fields of Chang'an. Funding on Kickstarter until February 20th. In the Unfair expansion, Comic Book, Hacker, Kaiju, Ocean, and Solo, Unfair gets bigger and better with the new Comic Book, Hacker, Kaiju, and Ocean theme packs, all new solo mode, and Unfair add-ons. Chase blueprint goals, explore event combos, and create a park with 14 modular theme packs for huge replayability. Mix them with your old favorites or with each other to discover all new strategies to master the cynical challenges. It's funding on Kickstarter until February 24th. Old London Bridge presents players with the ability to restore the London Bridge after a great fire. Build 3D bridges, chapels, gates, and more. Utilize special actions to become the wealthiest builder. Funding on Kickstarter until February 19th. Astro Knights is a streamlined co-op deck builder inspired by Aeon's End. Each player takes up the mantle of an Astro Knight, a defender of the universe itself. Characters have unique special abilities that can be used once their core is powered. Defeat 4 world enders to triumph. It's funding on Kickstarter until February 24th. In Kabula, you'll find an RPG style with a silly sense of humor. It's an adventure board game with monsters to tame. Fully competitive, it also contains a solo variant and an engaging experience with a scalable difficulty. It's on Kickstarter until February 27th. Rolling Heights sets you to compete with other general contractors as you build a fantastic city of homes, skyscrapers, and more. It's on Kickstarter until February 23rd. In Mind Management Secret Missions, Mind Management is back with some Secret Missions cards and another chance to grab the exclusive Deluxe Edition. This contains some new Secret Mission cards as well as a wooden upgrade kit for those that have the retail edition. Floating Floors is a tactical game of balance and cunning for 1 to 4 players. In a 3D game, players face off with the other ninjas to create paths to recover their stolen Banson seals. The first to recover them all is the victor. Iron Forest takes Ice Cool to the next level in this flicking game. Split into 2 teams of the animal clans and Iron Force, then fight to be the first side to accomplish the goals depicted on the chosen scenario sheet. Activate mechas on your turn by flicking or launching them across the game board. Use wild power-ups and scenario-specific actions in a battle for survival. Funding on Kickstarter until March 4th. Kalinasu Immersive Adventure Escape Game brings an escape room to you in a box. It immerses you in a challenging experience by use of puzzles, narrative, and technology. With materials, codes, and clues hidden inside, you will have to use your wits and combine the objects to find the lost treasure. On Kickstarter now is a solo game called Wreckland Run from the creators of Warp's Edge. It plays in 30 to 45 minutes and features a campaign to play through. Think of the video game Twisted Metal, but as a tabletop game, and you'll have a good idea what this is about. If you pledge, you can also pick up a copy of Warp's Edge and its expansions. Deep Rock Galactic is a new co-op cave crawler game for 1 to 4 players based on the video game of the same name. For ages 12 and up and plays in 1 to 3 hours, it'll come with a neoprene game mat and tons of miniatures. collect treasures within the caves, and fight off the dangerous glyphids. Let's talk a bit about what's going on in the board gaming industry as a whole and some notable news. The gaming companies Paizo Incorporated and Gale Force 9 just announced a partnership together and are releasing Pathfinder Level 20 as their first game together. Coming this April, it's a board game for 2 to 6 players about kobolds fleeing a 19th level hero trying to smite them. They will also be releasing a new Starfinder board game in Q3 this year called Starfinder Pirates of Skydock. Then in Q4, look for the card game Pathfinder Tall Tales. The data and survey group NPD released some sales data about games and puzzle sales. In 2021, sales grew 23% compared to 2019. Overall toy growth, which includes games, was $28.6 billion. That's up from $15.4 billion in 2020. The biggest sales properties in 2021 were Pokemon, Barbie, Star Wars, LOL Surprise, Fisher-Price, Marvel Universe, Hot Wheels, Nerf, Lego Star Wars, and Little Tykes. Shipping containers at the California ports are getting backed up really bad right now due to new Omicron COVID variant cases. Unloading has slowed due to more longshoremen and workers getting sick. 80% of infections were at the LA and Long Beach ports. A record 90 container ships are waiting to unload and growing. In more positive news, 4 tabletop gamers got together to try to beat a world record for longest continuous time playing a board game. They played Dune for over 85 hours to raise money for Alzheimer's research. They were allowed a 5-minute break for every hour played. They only ate snacks instead of entire meals. The GameFound platform found a big investor recently in the form of Ravensburger, investing $4.5 million into it. GameFound is owned and run by Polish game publisher Awaken Realms. The platform has raised over $22 million in crowdfunded games. This new investment will allow them to really expand the platform and bring new functionality. The GAMA has announced what will be included in their Retailer Appreciation Box that will be shipped to retail members who register by March 1st and attend 7 or more premiere presentations. Inside will be several Ticket to Ride games and expansions, Diabolic heists and investigations, Galaxy Trucker, dice and accessories from both Die Hard Dice and Foam Brain, Shores of Tripoli, Pan Am, and 14 more games. The value of everything in it is about $1,200. Hasbro's Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming segment just got a new CEO. Cynthia Williams is the new president, taking over from Chris Cox when he became CEO of Hasbro. Williams was previously at Microsoft for 3.5 years as general manager and vice president, most recently of the gaming ecosystem commercial team. Hasbro hopes she'll add her understanding of technology and e-commerce with cloud and console-based gaming to their growing expertise. Wizards of the Coast opened up applications for retailers recently for their 2022 Retail Improvement Grants. The grants can be applied to retailers in 4 categories: furniture, design, operational, and construction, in trying to gain WPN premium status. Forms must be filled out and submitted by March 31st. The Wizards of the Coast segment booked $952 million in tabletop game sales last year, leading Hasbro to an overall sales of over $1 billion. Tabletop games accounted for 74% of the segment's sales. Digital games were at 26%. There's a lot of new game announcements in the past 2 weeks, including new expansions. For example, legendary 007 deck building game is getting an expansion called The Spy Who Loved Me, introducing characters from the film. Most notably are the villains like the agent Jaws with the teeth. It will retail for $24.99 later this year. Additionally, the Marvel Legendary deck building game is getting a Guardians of the Galaxy expansion in Q2 this year. New heroes and villains are included from both Volume 1 and Volume 2 movies. It will retail for $24.99. The Marvel Champions card game is getting Nova Hero Pack coming in May. It adds Sam Alexander to the game at a price of $16.99. The Spiel des Jahres winning game Pictures is getting a major expansion this quarter called Pictures Orange. It adds 2 new component sets, including acrylic tiles, clothespins, felt pieces, and more. The expansion also allows up to 6 players. It will retail for $34.95. Steve Jackson Games and Cryptozoic Entertainment are teaming up to bring The Dark Knight to the Munchkin series with the new Munchkin Batman. It will have a Kickstarter campaign soon and will feature major Batman villains and heroes illustrated by John Kovalik. Exploding Kittens just released a new 2-player version of the original game, out now for $11. It adds new cards, and all the cards can be combined with the base game if you like. The 2-player version is completely standalone if you want. The Exploding Kittens company also just announced a new blind gameplay party game called Hand to Hand Wombat. Coming in September, players are secretly a good or bad wombat, and players must vote on who they think is bad. They do this through attempting to build or destroy towers of blocks on the table with everyone's eyes closed. It's a 15-minute game for ages 7 and up. The Power Rangers deck building game has a new expansion called Omega Forever coming in June. It adds new Omega Rangers, the Anointed, and even Fusion Zords. It will retail for $30. The popular abstract game Tsuro is getting a limited edition with stone tiles, bamboo rule scroll, and a gold dragon statue. The cardboard tiles will now be textured and carved stone tiles. These tiles will now be an embroidered satin bag for drawing. You'll get metal player pieces, and it all comes in a numbered wooden box. No release date is set yet, but it will sell for $350. The deck building game Dominion is getting a second edition of its 2009 expansion, Seaside. This updated version adds new Kingdom cards, corrected errata cards, an update pack, and new box art. It's coming in April. Quirky Circuits is getting a standalone sequel game on March 9th called Quirky Circuits Penny and Gizmo's Snow Day. It's a family-friendly cooperative game about programming robots. Clean up the house and defeat the dust bunnies, and snowboard down icy slopes to gather flags before you run out of power. It's for ages 8 and up and plays in 30 minutes. It will retail for $19.95. Stonemaier Games has a new game to its lineup from Paolo Mori. Libertalia Winds of Galecrest is a sequel to the original that came out in 2012 and has players exploring the world of Galecrest. It's a revised and expanded edition of the original with new art, a new reputation system, premium components, and a solo mode. It's for 1 to 6 players ages 14 and up and plays in 45 minutes to an hour. You can pre-order it from their website in March. From Renegade Game Studios comes a new expansion to Architects of the West Kingdom called Works of Wonder. It's coming out in Q2 and was funded via Kickstarter. Attempt to construct 5 monuments to beautify the city. It adds a new solo mode, new player boards, and a new main board that adds the Princess, Profiteer, and Wonders. The expansion will retail for $35. Ryan Lockett has a new game coming at the end of February in his Arzium Storybook series of games. This one is called Now or Never and has players competing to rebuild their ancestral village and guide the villagers on their journey home. It's for 1 to 4 players and includes asymmetrical gameplay, expected to retail for $79.99. Sabaton: A Battle Through History is a new board game from Pegasus Spiel made in collaboration with the Swedish heavy metal band Sabaton and Italian publisher Scribab's Board Games. Follow your favorite band member through history as time-traveling storytellers, fight in epic battles, and collect relics and warriors. It's for 2 to 5 players ages 14 and up and will retail for $59.99. Asmodee has a slew of new game announcements, including First Empires, a civilization building game of conquest and building civilizations. Expected to retail for $44.95 when it comes out in March. It's a lightweight game with fast gameplay since there's no dice involved. It's for 2 to 5 players and plays in under an hour. On March 4th, check out Asmodee's newest card game called Rest in Peace. Players are ghosts back from the dead to haunt the mansions of their ancestors. Win mansion tokens for the house through tactical card play. Whoever controls 3 castles or 4 manors wins. It's a 15-minute game for 2 players ages 8 and up and will retail for $19.99. Asmodee also announced an expansion for Ginkgopolis called The Experts, which is coming out March 18th. It adds 5 new modules offering new strategies and game mechanisms. Play with all of them or pick and choose. It's for 2 to 5 players and plays in an hour. You'll need the base game to play. From Rio Grande Games, check out Space Station Phoenix, where players are Galactic Council representatives building a fleet and the best space station possible. It's for 2 to 4 players and plays in 1 to 2 hours and will retail for $79.95. Look for it sometime this year. Tusk is a new Ice Age survival board game from Gale Force 9 where players race against the Ice Age to stock up on resources, make alliances to hunt successfully, and use the land's resources to become the most powerful tribe. It's for 2 to 4 players ages 10 and up and plays in under an hour. It will retail for $40 when released this May. From Pretzel Games, check out their new economy building game called Yak. Become village elders trying to build a stone tower to guide merchants through the dangerous Himalayas. Direct the yak-drawn carts full of food and stones around the mountains, avoiding the fog. It's for 2 to 4 players ages 8 and up and plays in under an hour. Haba has a new family-friendly fantasy card game coming out March 3rd called King of the Dice. Convince the creatures of the realm you are the king by playing strategic games of chance. Roll dice to claim citizens and occupy locations. Have the best locations and most gemstones to win. It's a 30-minute game that plays 2 to 4 people, expected to retail for $19.99. For the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel, I published a few videos in the past 2 weeks. I uploaded a tutorial for Bora Bora, the excellent Steffenfeld Eurogame. I don't think it's in print right now, but I like it a lot and wanted to put out a good tutorial on it. Jay's latest takeaway video was on the game Biblios. It's a classic and is getting a redone version in the form of For the King and Me. It's a re-implementation from designer Stephen Finn. I received an early copy of a 2-player abstract game called Tree Blocks. It's about building up blocks of leaves in your color to get the most area visible from the canopy. All of it is done through building up branch blocks and attaching leaf blocks to that. Shade over your opponent's leaves to get the most. I made an unboxing video on it, so you can check it out. In this week's podcast episode, Jay and I introduced the newest member of the Mentor Minutes podcast, Stephen Murphy. Stephen is a gaming friend of mine who lives close by and is willing to step in to join as a co-host. As we discuss in the episode, Jay will have to leave the channel for a while due to his personal life and work getting quite busy. To make sure we keep the show going without him, Stephen will be my new co-host for the time being. Maybe in a few months down the road, Jay will have some more time to join back in again. I wish him well and thank him for being part of the channel. Coming up soon on the channel, I'm working on tutorials for In Too Deep and Dinosaur World. Tidal Blades is still an option, but will take a while to get all the footage again since I lost it a few weeks back. Thanks for tuning in to today's news update. I appreciate your support. And remember, teach when you can, but always be learning. See you next time.